Mark Sayers wrote a book called A Non-Anxious Presence. In the book, he says the reason why we all feel so out of control, the reason why there's this sort of foreboding darkness externally, why all of the trust is collapsing in institutions and systems and things are not just working externally, but also that internal dread we also feel, that anxiety that we feel on the inside. He says he thinks it's because we're between eras, that there's an age shift that we're living through. And this happens in history. This isn't the first time. And he says that all the research says that when eras shift, there's a 50-year gap in between. And that 50-year gap is what they call the gray zone. And that gray zone is where you're like, ah! Because all these things that were sure things, and all these things that used to work, and all these recipes that were the thing, and all these things that we're used to, and these traditions, and these understandings, and these behaviors, and these rules, and all of the things don't work. But then all the things that might, and all the things that are coming, and all the things that are possible aren't quite fully realized yet. And so you're living in this gray zone, and the anxiety that it produces, well, you know. The foreboding, sort of chaotic sense of like, we're not okay, is real. The thing that gives me a lot of hope is that I read the Bible. I do, and some people say maybe she doesn't, but I do. But I read the Bible, I read the very beginning of the Bible. The beginning of the Bible, I understand how creative things happen. I know how. God does not start, by the way, God does not start creation with light. You know that, right? He doesn't start with light. God starts the creative process with chaos. God starts with chaos. The picture in Genesis 1 is of the Spirit of God. It says the Spirit of God is hovering over a chaotic void, a foreboding. You know, one of my favorite theologians, Bob Ekblad, he says that all the language of that chaos is all post-apocalyptic language. It's all like everything's kind of destroyed, like nothing's working anymore. He'll show a picture of like a Syrian bombed out city and go like, that's what it is. This like sense of like, it's not working. Over that chaotic void, the Spirit of God hovers. In the Jewish tradition, that image there is like of a mother bird hovering over this like dark matter, and then just longing to start to bring creative process and saying, let there be light. Let there be light. The Spirit of God hovers over chaos. Chaos, that foreboding dark, that gray zone of our experience is not, what are we going to do? Look for the light. It is the Spirit of God with us in the moment saying, I'll bring it. I'll bring it. And that's what's happening all through the scriptures. We see this. Like, guys, I just want to tell you just a little tiny little secret that might help you in your own gray zone. And it's this: God's not scared of the dark. God's not scared of the dark. God's not worried about the chaos. God, this isn't God's first era shift. And he comes closer than ever, hovering. God hovers like a mother bird. You might recognize that in your Easter lead up, where Jesus goes to the city of Jerusalem and he looks over it and he weeps and he said, would that I could have gathered you like a mother hen gathers her chicks. It's going to spark to all of his Jewish listeners. He's going to go like, what? That's that image of the first creation, the first creative order. Would that I could have gathered you so that I could say, don't be scared of the dark. So that I could say, let there be light. When John's gospel introduces Jesus in the story of Scripture, this is how John puts it. In the beginning was the Word. Jesus was there. Jesus was part of that. He spoke light into being, hovering over that darkness. This is where Jesus begins it all. And now Jesus has come into human experience. And it says that he brought the life of God. And listen to this. That life was the light of all humanity. And then it says this, I love this so much. And even though the darkness couldn't understand it, it couldn't stop it.